we have in COVID to show the same consent to the war in the English-speaking
part. Are you sure? Are you sure you did not listen to that speech diagonally, because he actually said one of the most challenging things that we have in Cameroon that is killing, as you see, Cameroonians, is the war in the northwest.
Killian, I'm not talking about what we are saying. I'm talking about what we are doing to stop that these killings don't happen.
No, Killian,
yes. When it comes to what is
minority,
being said,
I don't understand.
Victor, can you excuse me? When we are looking at what is being said, a lot has been said, and it will still continue to be said. But when you look at the measures taken, like the active measures, little is done to actually make sure that this war is ended. Because when you look at the things that have been called for, like people have cried that there's a ceasefire, a unilateral ceasefire. This is something that power can do in a twinkle of an eye. It is not yet done. This shows a lot of bad faith, and this is what enables or what opens way that people continue to fight, people continue to kill.
I have a worry. When you say targeting a minority, I don't understand. Because I understand from my findings that in the northwest and southwest regions, Anglophones are killing Anglophones. I don't understand when you say a minority. Under what platform?
I will still respond to you.
A minority, I don't understand.
Victor, it is a minority, because when it is a minority,
okay, Anglophones are targeting their minority.
We have to understand the political motivation of this war if we want to stop it. Because somehow when we continue to actually watch these things happen, and those pumping the energy because of their political interests are doing so without us making a comment, and we keep on looking at the Anglophones killing the Anglophones, then it's unfair. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to put it there. Director, we're going to end with you. Let us pass through Mr. Henshaw, Orok Ari. What do you take home from that speech?
To me, what I took from the head of this speech is a speech of continuity. Meaning what? Meaning that he acknowledged the fact that we have COVID-19, which Cameroon has demarcated himself by fighting against this pandemic, and is calling on more Cameroonians to respect the barrier measures against COVID-19, because he noticed that people are relenting their efforts in a bid to curb this pandemic, which is worldwide. And more to that, the head of state said that he's calling more on the secessionist fighters who are in the bushes fighting to lay down their arms in a bid so that there should be peace and security in Cameroon. Nonetheless, calling on those who are in the diaspora, with including international organizations as well as some foreign partners, to bring to book those who are in charge of protecting those guys and financing those guys to commit atrocities in the northwest and southwest regions. And more to that, he talked of the economy aspect, that Cameroon is still in the move to go ahead to attain its emergence 2035, and that Cameroon is on a good footing. Cameroon is going to be modernized thanks to constructor sites, and that people should bear in mind that they should seize the opportunity which the government is putting forth, so that people should have a modern Cameroon. And more to that, calling on people to have some social cohesion. More to that elections are not won in social media or in other medias. Yes, calling on
Victor said that.
Yes, it's just to throw more light to develop something which he never developed. Calling on the CRM party leader, Professor Maurice Kamto, with his supporters to desist from all acts which are going to be anti-democratic, because for a country to develop and democracy, when he said in the 1990 accepting democracy, he knew it was going to be met with hurdles, and the hurdles are there, but Cameroon is slowly going to his achievements of projects which they had earlier put forth, so that Cameroonians should feel the development from the grassroots.
Yes, before we go to the director, Emma, you are still itchy. Before you say, I will let you say it before I come to the director. If you read the president's speech, when he came to be talking about the crisis in the northwest and southwest, there is a phrase, there is a sentence which he says that the crisis has caused more harm to our country. If you go to that speech, you will see that. But that's not what you were saying.
Oh, I wonderfully acknowledge that statement that he made, Kilian. But there is still, I'm sure of the opinion that the speech it fell short of many things, because when you
okay, we'll come to you. We'll come to you.
Maybe I should just point
okay,
what I yes. When you look at, for instance, the president, I wasn't personally happy when he was talking of only the secessionists commenting. Maybe secessionists commenting. I'm talking of the Amber boys here who are committing maybe crimes, who are doing excesses. I think that the president would have made more sense to if he acknowledged, if he also called the military that are going on excesses.
The president talked a lot of things.
Last year he punished some military officials.
Let us make something
this point very clear.
And then
last year the head of state punished
and then maybe
a group of military officials in Kamer and other parts of the two regions.
Maybe before I finish.
And Emmanuel, I'm not getting you short. The president said that those doing this and are based abroad will not go unpunished. But those in Cameroon, what you are saying there, he punished them last year. And there are cases under investigation in Cameroon.
Let me ask you, before you
let's be realistic.
Let me ask you.
We shouldn't be sentimental on the platform.
That's right. Let me ask you this, Emmanuel, because you're talking to the world here, not only to us. We have a crisis. We have one side that is legitimate, that is legal, that is Republican, and we'll have one side that, following Republican values, they are fighting against the state. So are you saying under normal circumstances you can ever put them?
Kilian, when I look at many of these things, sometimes I first of all blame those who sit and craft the international law. Those who say that because when
you're talking about international law.
I'm saying
you a question
because the international law gives people the courage to fight. When in international law we have it that each and every person has a right to self-determination, it means that people can use that to fight. And unless we have to actually start saying that, and unfortunately, Cameroon ratifies some of these. So I don't want to blame people from this perspective. Well, so when
you made your point,
we already facing what is happening in every armed conflict. When we're not talking about like
conflict, we have made an analysis. We don't deviate us into conflict. We just wanted to make mention that it was part of what was said in the speech. Now we are going to come to you, Mr. Director. You listen to the President of the Republic address the nation. What are some of those salient points that you can share with us?
Okay, thank you, Kmer, for giving me the floor. I am one of those persons who are satisfied by the speech of the head of states. When he made the balance of last year, we noticed that all the promises made in the last year speeches were met. I can take, for example, he said that the country is ready to welcome the youth, the African youth, for the African Championship. Mm-hmm. All our infrastructures are ready. They are very modern. They are topped. So, personally, I am happy. Concerning the Northwest and Southwest crisis, the president is aware of the situation. He said that the plan of reconstruction will begin next year to build roads, schools, hospitals, which will be buried, destroyed by those persons. The president of the Republic is mastering the situation. On the economic way, he said that the resilience of our country is an asset for us. And we took measures to increase the competitiveness of our economy to be the head of our sub-region. So, in a nutshell, I'm very happy of this speech.
Yes, and the target from his speech, we are going to move from the 4% growth rate, where we have stagnated for quite some time, and the target is 8%. Economic growth rate. Thank you very much. We're going to move into our focus for today, and our focus also concerns the presidential decree of December 30, 2020. That was when the president signed harmonizing the retirement age of civil servants in Cameroon. It was followed by decisions and other the arrêtés by the Prime Minister, also harmonizing the retirement age for contract officers or those workers whose careers are governed by the Labour Code. But our focus today is on the presidential text of December 30, harmonizing the retirement age of civil servants. And we have with us here the Director of Career Management in the Ministry of Public Service, Mr. Dikume Batinde Hervé Brice. Once again, we are honored you are here. The first thing we want you to tell us, explain to us, is the spirit of the presidential text.
Thank you once more. In the context, I want to lay emphasis on the context of there were some public service, public agents who were entering into the public service through the same conditions. But at the exit, there was some disparity. This was the first problem to solve. The second problem was an economic problem. By increasing the years of working, you are reducing the deficit on the pension. So when the President of the Republic took the decision, we noticed that all the civil servants were very, very happy, because there was some kind of iniquity in the management of the public service. This is what I can say firstly.
Now, when you say reducing the deficit on the pension, what does that mean?
Our pension system is one of distribution. That means that it is we who are working, who are contributing for those who are not working. To illustrate it, I will say that 10 civil servants of the same grade are contributing for one who is on retirement. So it is an advantage for the government to increase the year of working, because by increasing the years of working, there is increasing the way of contributing for the pension to reduce the deficit.
We are going to come back to that when we talk about the advantages. You just permit me, gentlemen, to let him explain it to us, because he is the specialist in that domain in the Ministry of Public Service. Now, who are those who are concerned by this presidential text?
Those who are concerned as those who are supposed to go on retirement as from the 1st of January 221 to the 31st of December of 225. Firstly, those who are concerned are those who were going on retirement as 50 and 54 years. In a nutshell, there are around 115 civil servants who are concerned.
Mm-hmm. That's 115,000?
Yes.
Okay, who are concerned. Now, let's talk about the categories.
Yes. The category A and B are now going on retirement at 60, and C and D at 55.
Mm-hmm. Now, yes. Well,
and for the contract workers, if you want to, because they are also public agents, mm-hmm. From the 8 to the 12 category, they're going to retirement at 60, and from the 1 to the 7 category at 55.
That's correct. Somebody who had to go on retirement on the 30th of December when it was signed, or on the 31st, the person doesn't benefit. That's what we're saying?
He doesn't benefit. He's not concerned by this measure.
Wow. Does that have any effect, negative, in terms of...
You know, when a decision is taken, there are some who are benefiting from this decision and some who are not benefiting from the decision.
Okay.
The President of the Republic took the decision. To answer your question, I will say that since the year 212, the month after your retirement, you benefit from your pension allowances. So there will not be a problem for those who went on retirement before the effect of the presidential decree. Okay.
Now we are going to look at it from this angle. You started talking about the advantages.
Yes.
Somebody who goes on retirement, others were going at 55, others at 60, some even before 50. by 50. Now it has been harmonized. We mean that there are other cores that already had those advantages. Which are those cores?
The cores who had already those advantages are the cores of national education and public health. Those who are governed by the general statutes of the public service.
Okay. You have?
National education scopes and public health.
What about magistrates?
They are not ruling by the general statutes of public service. They have a special statutes. Okay. Magistrates, penitentiary administration, and higher education. They have a special statutes. So they are not ruled by the same statutes.
Yes, just briefly, we begin with you, Emma. Your first reaction?
Yes, Killian, I think that this decision, I welcome it to some extent because, like it's known in some disciplines like medicine and some few others, people actually become very efficient maybe at that age of 55, where they've acquired a lot of experience dealing with issues. But I don't want to imagine that this issue, when it's secular, it's actually against the interests of the young people that we still continuously say that they are the leaders of tomorrow. Because when we have this tendency of keeping people in offices for a very long time, they have enough time to actually do what they have been doing best, the corruption and whatsoever, and you can name them. And when you look at the vision of Cameroon, principally that which Mr. Biya, the head of state, actually has been fighting for, I'm talking of the 2035 emergence, you want to believe that this vision cannot actually be rendered through the people, this generation of leaders that we have. We need a new generation of people to come in with new energy.
I stay with you. With new energy, nobody is against the youth coming up. But when the age of retirement is harmonized, it's harmonized for both the old and the young. We mean when they will come up, they will transit to the same 60. Is there any problem?
The problem is not, I'm looking at the status quo now. I'm looking at the status quo. You know, when people actually, when people, like for now, we are talking of the issue now, when we have to extend the mandate of those who have been occupying maybe certain positions for a very long time, we delay the entry of those people who would have been coming to actually bring the 21st century change that we're talking about. And then I also want to read this issue from a social perspective.
Maybe you spare, the director wants to react to what you've said. We will come back to
what I want to say is that the increasing of age retirement is not antinomic with the recruitment of youth into the public service.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Recruitment are based on a 3 years planning in compliance with the need expressed by the various ministries, the administrative frameworks of those ministries, and the budgetary sustainability.
But at least it delayed, Director.
No, what I will say that actually this here plan of the government is always adopted and it will be implemented this year. Mm-hmm. I want to advise you to listen to all the announcements to the Minister of the Public Service as from the month of April. We'll see those competitive examinations which will be launched.
Okay,
so
we'll come back to you, Ma. We have
don't be worried.
Henshaw, we have Victor, who have not spoken yet. Briefly, how you appreciate the harmonization of the retirement age, and probably also how you react to the first two speakers.
To me, that information I received with mixed feelings. Why? Because, you know, people who have been working for 50 years, 55 years in many countries, is at those ages that you produce more, you give best of yourself, and people have been calling that the government should increase working ages for public servants in Cameroon, and the head of state with Prime Minister John Gute have done that differently in various aspects. But I want to say that it's not good for the youth in Cameroon. They always say that youths are the future in Cameroon. Why? Because as 5 years have been added to people, to public servants, 5 years would have also been added into public competitive examinations from 32 to 37, so as not to penalize the youth who are going to be writing competitive examinations, because those who are going to be working will be there for additional 5 years. But that has not come up. I'm calling on the government. I'm channeling that to the director of careers, who is here with us on set, to take that to his minister, to the prime minister, as well to the head of state, to do something for the youths. Youth should not be penalized by not being added more ages to write public competitive examinations. Your
plea is gotten, Victor?
Yeah, in UK and America, when someone approaches the age of 60 and above, the person is highly solicited, especially in journalism, in the medical profession, and in
some other course.
Yes, some other sensitive course. Now, in Cameroon, people think that stay in office or working as a civil servant for above 50 years is punishment. There's a difference between staying in office for too long and staying in the civil service. Two different things.
Punishment,
now, in the civil service, going on retirement at 55, on my personal opinion, I think it is not the best. And the decree which has come to empower those who were at age 55 and at age 50 as of 1st of January this year or 31st of December last year to continue working from this year, I think is a welcome initiative. One, it will motivate them to give in their best. Two, it will help to empower Cameroon's economic drive, because when the manpower is motivated, there is bound to be efficiency, there is bound to be that commitment to work.
We are going to,
and that is why
we are going to come to the advantages.
The head of state has done something that people, for example, the 10-year plan, emergence plan that was launched last 2 months in Yaoundé by the Minister of Economy. Now, in the next 5 years, the current staff who were supposed to go on retirement last December will continue working, and that will add some energy to the plan, and that will add some level of
mastery,
of hope. Yeah, and I think the best thing in life is to be optimistic, because nobody is perfect. We can only strive towards bettering our situations and our conditions.
Yes, we're going to come to, I didn't want to stop you to disrupt the flow of your ideas, but we have a column here for advantages. But before we get to that, we sample the opinions of some Cameroonians to react to the presidential text, and we have them from around the country. We're going to listen to them.
The departure on retirement age, it's I think a welcome news for people who were in the sector that went at the age of 55.
I would like to say thank you to President Paul Biya, who has decided to kill all frustrations concerning this pertinent issue of retirement age in Cameroon.
Pushing the retirement age to 60 will really help them, especially economically, to prepare for their retirement, and to equally help them prepare their children to go through education, because at times most of the civil servants, some go on retirement when their children are still going to school, and they find it very difficult to take up their kids right at the level of higher education. So I think the initiative is a well-saluted initiative.
At least it might help me to do an additional thing in my career. So I'm so pleased, I'm so happy.
We thank the head of state for what he has done for them, because it was something that was like a dream, but with what he has given as a decree, it has been a reality.
They had two advantages over us. They had the higher salary, and they were going at 60. Those with low salary were going at 55, sometimes 50. It was an injustice.
Plan my retirement and do my work better.
It's been a long cry for most of us. Seeing our other personnel going at 60 and others going at 55, we saw it as some sort of an injustice. I believe it's going to impact on my career as a civil servant. I believe with the 5 years that have been added, I will do it now with ease. I think I will not rush as I wanted to do. It is really a good and brilliant thought that he has made for us.
I am very, very glad and happy.
We have to work hard and we have to organize our career and produce more.
Nowadays, many more people go on retirement still very, very strong. The choice sometimes may be theirs to want to start their own businesses and they decide to do it much earlier. But I think it's good news for those people.
On nous a toujours dit que c'est. It is often said that the more a fruit is ripe, the better it tastes. I think it is at 55 that some civil servants start exercising the necessary experience acquired in the course of their careers.
Yes, we all listen to the reactions of some Cameroonians across the country. Those reactions were taken immediately. The decree was signed on December 30, 2020. We're now going to open a new chapter, Mr. Director of Career Management in the Ministry of Public Service, who is here, our guests on the program, the specialist. What are the advantages of this presidential text?
Okay, thanks once more. All the advantages are, first, for example, on the social aspect, contract workers who were recruiting above 40 years, for example, were not given the opportunity, according to the regulations, to benefit from a pension at the end, because to benefit it you have to contribute for 15 years.
Okay.
So they were not meeting these conditions. By increasing the years, they will meet the condition.
Okay.
On another aspect, there were a high tendency for asking of extensions of activities, and this was not objectives. We will now reduce these tendencies because by increasing 5 years, it was not justified to add law to give extension activities for those who are asking those favors and those measures.
So it was discriminatory?
Yes, it was discriminated.
By the
yes,
managers.
Of course. On another aspect, the quest of performance, which is highly required into the public administration, will be met because the seniors who are not in activity will best manage the new commerce into the public administration, and there will be a kind of emulation to promote the value which are required into the public service.
Thank you very much. Other advantages?
Other advantages which I can deduce is that there is social justice now in the public service, meaning what? Some people used to go on retirement at 55, but now it has been harmonized. 55, whereas others were 60, now it has been harmonized. Though there's still a question because not all those who are in the public service are going on retirement at 60. You have teachers, magistrates who are going at 65. There's also this issue of brain drain, which many people...
Let us comment on the magistrates and teachers, especially not all teachers
of higher
go
education.
Higher education.
Yes, university lecturers.
Yes, and you know, for you to be a university lecturer, you spend more time learning. So when you start activity, you start at an advanced age. For you to be associate professor, for example, full lecturer, or professor, full professor, you spend so much time studying. So I think that's justified that they go at 65.
I don't think so, because what about magistrates? You are from Yaoundé one or your university degree. That's 3 years university degrees. You enter ENAM, you spend just few years to come out. Then you are more than those who have gone higher education, who have master's degree as well as PhD. It's not normal. So they should do something to harmonize those things. Then we also had brain drain. Many Cameroonian civil servants were working here in Cameroon. They were not giving their all because they knew that they were preparing to go abroad. If you can bear with me, many civil servants, by the time they go on retirement at 55, they go to Europe to continue doing their medical profession or other things, and this has come now to boost their morale. There are other people who were requesting for extension, saying that they have not yet invested while they were working. So with this extension, they can at least invest building houses and setting up some businesses, as well as you also have these other advantages like boosting the morale of civil servants that have been considered finally by the head of state and the head of government, John Gute, for harmonizing the ages of people who are going on retirement. But on the negative aspect, as I pointed at that time, is the issue that youths who are not yet working, writing competitive examinations into public service, are going to be penalized big time. I'm pleading on the head of state, I know he's watching me, and the Prime Minister John Gute, that they should look into that aspect so that you should not be grumbling or go and walk in the streets, because this is an injustice to the youths. They are the ones saying that the youths are the future of Cameroon, but this degree has not taken into consideration that the competitive examinations ages should be increased from 32 to 37.
You do not bring an advantage and you go with it as negative, because if you said that the competitive entrance examination age was reduced, we understand. But if it's a plea, it's not like it's negative on them.
It's not, I'm saying it's a plea. I'm not saying it's negative. Okay. I'm saying that it's going to penalize. Penalization can be sometimes good if you are being brought to the court or in the court of justice. Sometimes if you are sentenced, it doesn't mean that they are going to hurt you. Sometimes it's to correct you.
Okay, we got you. Victor, you already outlined some advantages. If you have one more or two, then we will welcome you.
I think there is a corps in Cameroon, the medical corps. That's a very important call. Before now, they went on retirement at 55, if I'm not mistaken. 55 years. That was too young. Too young because they take at least 7 years in training. And some leave there, go for specialization about 3 years, 5 years on a particular field. Now, upon leaving, you discover that maybe at 30, 33, you begin your career. At 55, you're going to retirement. That explains why some of them, like we all know, used to operate private clinics while working, used to have private jobs while working, and it affected that efficiency on the government job. And I think this decree, extending it by 5 years, is a message that you have been called to actually and absolutely give in your best, your maximum best.
And they will close their clinics?
They won't. Now, the next issue will be sustainability. It calls for sustainability. A conscious civil servant who is benefiting or who has benefited from this extension has a duty of conscience to understand that it is not any other gift. This is a gift to serve your nation at every given point in the next 5 years.
Thank you. We got that. Emma, we are on one chapter, advantages. Even you have a disadvantage. Let us get the advantages.
No, anyway, to me, I only see the advantage to the lazy farmers in the public, in the government's vineyard. They have an advantage that they will have enough time to eat more while doing nothing.
You call that advantage, okay. We leave you with the Mr. Director. We are coming to you. How does this harmonization of retirement age solve the perennial problem of pension file chasing by some of our elders that we knew? Some of them even just died immediately. They went on retirement at 55 because they did not immediately have their pension.
Okay. As I said, since the year 212, the months after you go on retirement, you have your pension. You have your pension. It is clear. It is obvious.
Is that what happens? We still see them chasing?
No. Let me add. But there is a problem. The management of human resources. Some of them are not up to at the high level of their career. There are some acts of career which has first to be taken because it is in their interest to went on retirement at the top, at the right level of advancement, of category, of grade. But there is a lack, there is a deficit in the management of human resources. So all the efforts of the Minister of the Public Service Administrative Reform is to put the human resource, the management of human resources at the first priority, to allow all the administration to take these matters as a priority to improve the human resources management, so that every civil servant at the year has to have all his rights in matter of advancement and the financial effects of the advancement.
Yes.
The other aspect is for reverse-free pension. When someone dead, there are an aspect into the Minister of the Justice, which depends not from the Minister of Public Service or the Minister of Finance. And the process is sometimes, the procedures are sometimes very long to have this, what we call in French, jugement d'hérédité and certificat de non-appel. So when he got those papers, sometimes it is after 3, 4, and 5 years.
And within this time,
yes,
they could die.
Of course.
While following their money. Thank you for the explanation. But as you are giving all this explanation, we still know that when you are coming into the public service, you compile, you make up your files, and a year or 2 after, they're asking you to bring more files, and you are still in active service. They know where you work. You are the Director of Career Management. What happens?
Huge efforts are made in terms of simplification of procedures. Huge fights. For example, for an advancement now, we do no more ask those papers, last advancement, attestation de présence effective, because we have to master your personnels, so that to plan, to programming the advancement, first of all. So if you go into all the administration, you will notice that those papers are no more asked, because the human resources officers want to implement these policies. And you are a journalist, you can go into several administrations to know that this tendency is no more something which is actual. Secondly, there is a mobility in the career of civil servants. Someone begins his work into the Ministry of Public Service, and after that he is appointed in the Ministry of Agriculture, and so on. So it's not easy to have a kind of traceability into his career.
And then it's leading us to the next thing we wanted you to tell us. With the computerized integrated management of state personnel, you call it TGFPS, it has moved from 1, 2, and we think you are moving into another stage. With that now linked up like a central service, are we supposed to have this problem of traceability?
No, because this CGSPS will solve much of the problems actually faced in terms of management of human state resources. This system will bring biometry into the management of public service. But there is one condition. We have to sanitize the payroll. We have to sanitize it to master our figures.
To cleanse it.
To cleanse it. Yes, of course.
That's correct. Just to invite our viewers and tell them that this program is live on CRTV Web, Facebook, on the Facebook page of CRTV Web. So if you are somewhere and you want to follow this program, as we say here, you are not in front of any screen, just connect your handset, your laptop, or wherever you are, and you will be watching us live from wherever you are. You can do that after the program at your convenience. Now, yes, you wanted to react before we come to something else.
Yes, I'm very happy with what he has said about civil servants. Maybe you leave the Ministry of Health, go to the Ministry of Public Contract, to the Ministry of Public Service. That movement can affect your retirement. That's what I understood. Now, coming back to what he said about youth, the youth.
Did you say it can affect your retirement? No. In terms of
pension.
Yes,
pension.
Okay.
Yes, affects pension. Yeah. Talk about youth. That are extending. Meanwhile, youth are there without jobs and all those things. Yeah, I think I, for one, the civil service mentality, I think it's not the best. As a young man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let us know more.
The policy of self-reliance is very important.
Even as a civil servant?
No, I mean,
Job
as a young man, a job seeker, I think you can convert it and become a job creator. From a job creator, it means that you become self-reliant and you are able to, transform into an entrepreneur. Tomorrow, if you don't have a civil service job, you can fall back to something at least reasonable.
Okay.
And from the best of our knowledge, government already has some structures. And I think as young people, we should exploit them. And if they are not working well, we report them.
Thank you for that advice today. We're going to, yes.
I want to call upon my brother Victor. If you are a start-upper, you are self-employed, not every Cameroonian has that mentality or that ability. We're trained that after going to school is the public service, writing competitive examination, then public service. And more to that, Cameroonian context, and more to that, we are talking of being self-employed. Where are the finances? They have created PRC and whatsoever. Yeah. For you to get fundings from those places is hellfire. And if you are not connected, you don't get those fundings. You should say things the way they are.
This is why I said go to Konak and report.
If you report in Konak, people have been reporting and nothing has been happening. Nothing has been happening.
We
should say things the way they are. We should not come and blindfold people here. Say things the way they are. We should not blindfold the youth.
I think that we should be serious.
We are very serious. We should be realistic as well.
We should be realistic.
Yes.
True. If you have a problem, go where you think it can be solved. If it cannot be solved, go where you think you can report it.
Yes.
People have been reporting.
Every day and every day.
Why are the results?
Why?
Where are the results?
Maybe
that's just by the way. Yes, that's not
maybe
our
Victor. Let me
focus.
just because I'm happy you're talking of Konak, but I just want to inform you that Konak has the power to sanction anybody. Their one is just to
Konak actually works.
They work. They actually do, but they don't sanction.
They don't have cohesive powers.
That is it. But then I want to, Victor, I'm happy you raised the issue of entrepreneurship here. I want to tell you that
that's not our focus. That's not our focus. Entrepreneurship. Just to mention this in passing, that Konak has investigative powers, and when they do investigate, there are other institutions that have the coercive powers that have been doing that. If you are saying they are not doing that to your rhythm, that's a different ball game altogether. But that they don't do their work, it is not true.
Konak does its work, but honestly, Konak itself has been crying because I remember last time
Masigams has been decrying the way their actions have been implemented.
That is it.
As I said earlier, that is not our focus. We are here. No, that's not
going too far.
No, that's not our focus.
We're always saying that
please,
Konak should be empowered to sanction.
Yes, that everybody says that.
It's our cry.
Yes,
that's
everybody says that.
Which don't
now, please, Konak apart, that's not our focus. We are on retirement age. Following the decree of the head of state on December 30, that harmonizes the retirement age of certain categories of civil servants and other state workers. Now, the last question that we'll be handling is what happens to those who may not, because some people had already done their plans that at 55 I'm going on retirement. It happens in other countries that, okay, at this 55 I'm going. I don't want the extension. Mr. Director of Career Management, what happens to those people who may not be interested?
They have the opportunity to ask to go on retirement before the age. And the regulations offers them some advantages. Installation allowances, some bonification, to have them to better enjoy their retirement. So the possibility is still offered to them for those who want to go before the extension.
It will be a kind of disruption of their career. Now, will it not make them? That's so many documents will be asked and things like that, because they are disrupting their career which the machine has programmed otherwise.
This process is simple. The user ministry send a request to the Minister of Public Service with his position, if he agree or if he disagree. If he agree, the Minister of Public Service has to send back to authorize him authorize the civil servant to go on retirement.
Okay.
And after that, he has all his benefits in terms of allowances of installation, in terms of bonification of years, and at the end, all his rights will be calculated, and you will have them.
No complications?
No complication.
Okay, we are going to be thinking of moving out the way forward.
Maybe, Kili, before you move out, I think that when I see the manner in which civil servants are rejoicing over this, it just shows the kind of bad civil servants we have. Because honestly, I very much think that if anybody is working in good conscience, if anybody is serving the country judiciously, if it's time for them to actually go to rest, they should not be this happy. It shouldn't be people thinking that it is given them enough time to actually build homes.
Are you the one saying? Is that what they told you? You are the one saying that.
No, normally when you see, they will not be saying it, but
if they are not saying it, why are you saying it?
You know very well there are certain things that nobody will dare to say, but we know a good number of them, their interest. But I very much think that the retirement age, he actually had no problem, and anybody who was serving the country very well in good conscience would not even see this as anything to clap hands for.
You want to emphasize on that, we know that in Europe it's still a measure that is going up. It's an international problem, if we should say, with austerity measures, where some of those people have been asked, they look even older than Cameroonians who are here. Their retirement ages also were extended. So you cannot talk about Cameroonians and say they are lazy.
You know, for me, I see the issue of these advanced countries. You know, first of all, their civil service is not hot cake to many people, because the private sector is well developed, that many people actually have comfort.
And that again is a different topic that you are developing.
I don't understand you.
Okay, we're going to start with you, the way forward of this topic. So your last word on this retirement. Harmonization age, that's what I mean.
It's already done, so those who, the civil servants will be benefiting from it. And like Victor had already said, I wish that everybody who is going to be benefiting from this doesn't see it as an opportunity to actually to actually continue doing the negatives that they have been, especially those in decision-making positions, those controlling, those in managerial positions.
Okay, Victor?
Yeah, I think it is a call to serve the nation. We should not forget the fact that as a civil servant whose mandate has been extended by the head of state, that's confidence. It's confidence. We're talking about over 100,000 civil servants.
Yeah. The director said 115,000.
Exactly. What a huge figure or number, which means that they must understand that fighting corruption and embezzlement started yesterday on the 1st of January. In their next 5-year career, they should understand that the head of state is not joking by extending them or their stay in the civil service. So they should serve with diligence, with transparency and tranquility.
Yes, Henshaw?
To me, it's a good initiative. It's the start of a good initiative. I allow the government to continue doing that, and that those who were before being extended 2 years or 3 years and others were discriminated upon is going to harmonize that. By the time you're at 55 or 60 or 65, you go on retirement without any extension. And I'm happy for this, because those who had not planned their retirement will have the time to plan.
This time.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Director. The last word comes to you.
Thank you very much. First of all, I will say that this measure is in relation with the international standards, and especially the community standards. Secondly, I'm hopeful, knowing the commitment of the head of state, that all the consequences of this tech will be taken into consideration.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, gentlemen. You listened there to Hervé Brice de Kmer. But indeed, he is the director of career management in the Ministry of Public Service. Emmanuel Fonban is a journalist with the Horizon newspaper. Henshaw Orok Are is a civil society person. and Victor Cham is the publisher of Municipal Updates newspaper. Thank you very much for giving us your time. The first edition of Press Hour for 2021. You can watch a rebroadcast of this program Monday by 2:33, or at your convenience you watch on CRTV web, Facebook. Thanks. Have a nice day ahead.